Welcome, jewelers. Welcome all. Episode 9 here of the Jewelers Podcast. As always, I have Agentic State and Squanchy with me here today. How you fellas doing?
What's up? Doing good.
A little toasty in my office right now with the AC not working. We're now reading at 92 degrees. But I've got a fan blowing on me and we're gonna get through this.
We're going to cool you down here with some good old fashioned DFK Alpha. Got a bunch on the slate here today, guys. So, do want to let you guys know, as always, this is not financial advice. None of our opinions, what we go over here today, is financial advice. It's solely our opinions and our opinions only. We highly suggest you to do your own research, make your own choices, and make your own investments as well. But stay tuned
Hey,
here today.
real quick. If you guys have been following our financial advice, you're probably poor as fuck. So, just saying.
Yeah, that's what the disclaimer's there for. No, but as you know, it's been a chaotic week here in the crypto space. You know, a lot of heartfelt condolences go out to the people out there that have lost on Luna and UST and the situation that a lot of investors are going through right now. Just keep your brothers and sisters in check here. Check in on people might be struggling during these times. It's some crazy stuff going on in the space, and ultimately, crypto, we're supposed to be a community. The decentralization is for the good of everyone, So definitely check in on people like that, and we're hoping for the best in a good recovery here for the crypto space. But stay tuned here today, guys. We have an amazing giveaway courtesy of DAGs. We'll go over that here later in the episode, so be sure to stay tuned and also be sure to be in the Jewelers Discord to get more information on that as well. So, but the first topic, kind of mentioned already here, the big elephant in the room, UST, the stablecoin Terra Luna, and the coin itself, Luna. A lot of controversy, a lot of unfortunate happenings going on in crypto space here, and even going into some other tokens as well. Like I know Agentic wants to go over here. Lido, I'm not quite sure. I'm not too familiar on the subject, but Agentic, what's going on here? What is happening here in the crypto space currently?
Well, I'm gonna Squanch. I got an echo coming from you. Um, but essentially, I'll brush over uh with a summary because it's actually Squanch that knows quite a bit more about the UST Luna controversy. I just read up on the Lido ETH, so I can cover that a little more. But as we know, UST, which is Luna's stablecoin, was unpegged from being a stable, which essentially means that when it's supposed to be stable with the US dollar, it unpegged and it no longer was, and that's what's caused a lot of panic in the space and a lot of crashing. And I'm gonna let Squanch go ahead and describe kind of step by step what kind of happened because he knows this pretty well and detailed.
Well, without getting too technical, um, basically the way Luna worked is everybody would put crypto on Luna as collateral, and then it would print UST or mint UST to you. And you could buy UST with Luna and other cryptos and things like that. And UST became embedded in the DeFi ecosystem. So it's not just on Luna Chain. UST was cross chain. And it went in a lot of places, and it's intertwined with a lot of LPs. So it affected a lot of people.
It's in DFK. You know, we have a
Absolutely.
USTLP pool. I mean, it was a very common stable coin on a lot of exchanges, big exchanges. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so that means a lot of the DFK community it was
hmm
affected by this as we had millions of dollars in our LP, and I know that's a lot of players and people we know. So hope everybody's doing okay. And there were some people on Twitter like warning about this, but I still think it would catch anybody off guard. So uh, it's just terrible. But essentially, what happened is the collateral that was backing UST became worth less than what was minted out, and that's what causes
when you mean collateral, you mean the other
cryptos backing it.
yeah, the other cryptos that Luna was holding, such as Bitcoin, ETH,
Hmm.
so forth.
And even before, they used to not have Bitcoin on their balance sheet, right? They used to not have Bitcoin in their reserves. And a lot of people criticize Luna. They're like, look, you should have Bitcoin backing this to some degree. Because at one point it was all mostly backed by Luna, right? And then they started diversing into other assets like Avalanche, Ethereum, and Bitcoin.
Which is generally
And
smart,
yeah, it should have been made that way from the jump. But so what they did is they started then to buy Bitcoin and acquire more assets because UST was catching a lot of heat from a lot of big names, auditing firms and things like that were like, look, this is a Ponzi, it could collapse. But retail and most people stayed in, and eventually Duquan couldn't hold up the Ponzi anymore, and like I said, everything backing UST became worth less than the UST that was minted out. That caused panic, and then it's like a bank run at that point. Everybody's rushing to cash out their UST, but there's not enough UST there for everybody. So that's why people started selling their UST for less than $1, right? Because they're all running out the door, and then it's just a cascading effect.
So
And that's
you know a little bit of what, because you were telling me of what started the under collateralization of Luna, and it was specifically from Citadel, correct? If I remember right.
okay. So this is more of a theory, okay?
Theory. Okay.
I tend to think it's totally possible, but essentially, without getting too technical on this either, because this is just a theory, what we do know for sure is that UST collapsed. That's what we do know for sure. Now, as a matter of how it collapsed exactly, that's up for debate, because basically, I don't want to get too into this. It's too technical with futures contracts and things like that. And this is more of the DFK podcast and is like overall crypto. I think
But
the
this is
most
this is a kind of just could be important to go over just so people are aware of, because we are playing with liquidity pools and
yeah.
right,
Well,
things that are backed by Jules backed by the amount of diversified cryptos that are being staked in these pools, and it it's related, right?
yeah, it is. Okay,
And,
so I mean, the there's a firm called Citadel. Supposedly they borrowed $1 billion in Bitcoin, right? And then they started short selling that Bitcoin. But before they did that, they went on Luna. They got like $1 billion of Luna and minted a bunch of UST. Then they started selling the Bitcoin, which caused a lot of the market crash, which caused the assets on UST or on Luna to be worth less than the UST minted, right? So they bought a bunch of Bitcoin, they started selling it, crash it, hitting all the sell orders, crashing the price of Bitcoin, knowing that that would then move UST or Luna into a low health factors zone on a loan, right? I don't know if anybody's familiar with how loans work on Aave, but essentially it started getting sketchy. It's like, wow, the price of Bitcoin's going down a lot. Wow, the price of AVAX, because the price of Bitcoin goes down. We all know alts follow, and alts
yep.
crash harder than Bitcoin. And when alts are backing UST, that's where you're going to see. So they sold off all that Bitcoin, and that essentially um, crashed the price of Luna, and then they started selling their UST at that point, making it even worse, right? That just perpetuated the problem, and that's what caused it all. If the market had kept going up, the Ponzi wouldn't have busted, right? It took the price of Bitcoin to come down and the whole market to come down to cause that bank run on UST. Once the bank run on UST occurred, it was even more of a cascading effect throughout the whole market, perpetuating and doubling and making the problem even worse from just like an overall perspective. And what's on top of this, and I think what a lot of people don't understand yet, including myself, is how much damage is still to be discovered. I mean, Duquan claimed, and we can't believe a word that comes out of his mouth, obviously, but Duquan
And
claimed that
he's the founder of Luna, right?
yes,
Correct.
he's
Yeah.
the founder of Luna Duquan,
Yeah.
and he claimed that the Ethereum Foundation had a lot of UST or Luna. I can't remember which one he claimed, but he claimed that the Ethereum Foundation had this on their balance sheet, and that if that's true, then the Ethereum Foundation took a hit. And there's all sorts of different other collateralized assets and that might have UST backing them or Luna backing them in some way. And if any DeFi protocols or other big firms have invested in this, well, they lost just like retail, right?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of them may have not come clean about this yet. I mean, this is also new, so we'll see what more effects that it has. Hopefully, the worst is behind us, and we can start recovering, and market caps can start recovering. But yeah, it wiped a lot of people. I don't think we can underestimate. We just had billions of dollars leave our market, and a lot of that did belong to retail. So
Yeah. And
it's not good. It's not good for crypto. And I read a tweet. Someone tweeted out this puts crypto back as far as mainstream adoption by at least 2 years. And it's hard to not think that that's partly true.
yeah, just so everybody knows, I believe UST was the third largest stable coin, and it was in the top 15 coins before
Mhm.
the crash. And it currently is valued at 21 cents on CoinGecko, and it is ranked number 35 in market cap. So it has had quite a fall.
It's how much market cap does it still have?
It still has
Billion?
2.3 billion.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So
Oh
some people
man.
are really hoping that this thing comes back.
Kind of wild to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
Now I will say I saw a lot of Chads out there on Twitter flipping bloaters for Luna and making good trades. So shout out to everybody who did that.
Yeah.
That's cool
Back in
to
our
see that.
Discord.
Yeah, a lot of people on our Discord were doing that. Mega, I know you had some flips in there, some ins and outs, and all that. So that's pretty cool. But man, it's been a wild days in crypto, and I'm just gonna assume a lot of DFK players haven't been in crypto as long as me. And when I came to crypto, there was another Ponzi, and it was called BitConnect. Okay,
Yep. I was
and
in it. I was in the space when this happened too. This is
and
what
when
caused me to
Bit
leave for a couple years.
Yep, and when
Yeah.
BitConnect crashed, that was like the market was already crashing, but once BitConnect crashed, it put us into that stone cold bear market, brutal bear market. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna be a bear here, and everybody who follows me on Twitter, everybody who's ever heard me, I'm typically a perma bull, but man, I'm overall bearish on the crypto market for the short to mid term, right? I'm still a long term bull, but this could be um, a while for us to recover fully. But if you got balls and you're still here, then you're bidding here and you could start averaging in slowly. Not financial advice, but that's definitely what I'm gonna do. Is slowly start to average back in. Not in any rush though. I'm really not in any hurry to do that. But that's just how you have to play this market. But I think that covers the UST stuff. And now and here's another ripple effect of the Luna UST drama. We're about to talk about uh, Lido and
Mhm.
the ETH peg and how that peg is now under some stress because of what happened on Luna.
Yeah. So there was a story on Decrypt today where they were talking about the Lido um, ETH staked ETH, which is supposed to be the value of ETH, like one for one, kind of like a stable coin would be for a dollar. It is losing its peg to ETH. It's actually, I'm looking at it right now. ETH is valued at 2,046, and oh man, it's dropped in market cap. And then Lido is now worth 1,198. So it's about a 40. It's about a $48 difference. So you could imagine if some whale is holding, 1,000 ETH or whatever, and they're staking it on Lido. Well, that's going to be several, thousands of dollars of loss in value because it's not going to trade one for one for ETH. And essentially, the Lido staked Ether was the ETH that they were going to use as a project that was going to be used for the merger for what we used to call ETH 2.0. They changed it because it's going to be more of a merge between staked ETH and the current ETH that is mined. But this is a problem now. If the staked ETH isn't worth as much as the ETH that's being mined, it could potentially cause problems in the merge. And Lido staked ETH has already dropped 2 spots in the top 15 in market cap. And so the way this was pulled, or how this happened, and you talked about this, Squanch. You said that the ripple effects. What's happened with Luna is we haven't bared it all out yet. Well, here may be another domino that could fall depending on if they can save this. And you said that Daquan said that Ethereum Foundation had Luna and Terra on their balance sheet. Don't know about that, but they were definitely using Terra blockchain for their staked ETH. So there's a Anchor lending protocol which users could go and stake their ETH on, which they could use that staked ETH for when the ETH merge happened. It runs on the Terra blockchain. And so now once everybody heard about all this, Terra collapsing, they wanted to pull their staked ETH from Anchor Lending Protocol, and apparently it had a lot of the staked ETH on it. And that is why it is depegging. So right now, it can probably be saved with, if somebody can find a way to, move some money around, some big foundations, because it's not too bad, but, that's how UST started. It wasn't that bad, the peg wasn't that far off, and then it just collapsed. So if this actually depegs from ETH much farther than just $48, it's going to be very, very, very bad for the market, and it's going to be bad for Ethereum, which is not even really an altcoin anymore. It's basically a staple in crypto. A lot of people are going to become bearish on ETH because we've been wanting ETH 2.0 to come out to lower gas fees because nobody wants to pay $75 for a transaction. And potentially the ETH merger was going to help fix that issue, going proof of stake. But yeah, the ETH 2.0 or ETH merger, whatever you want to call it, may never happen. And that what the good news is for the silver lining of that though is it provides a great lane for AVAX, which if in DFK, AVAX is we're on the AVAX chain. We are a project of AVAX. The liquidity pools for Jewel AVAX, we're going to talk about that later, is more bullish. So could be a silver lining if the ETH merge doesn't happen, but it will definitely really harm the markets. So
Yeah,
anyway,
a lot of cascading effects. Overall, we were already in a bearish tone here in the market, but just to add to that, this Luna news isn't great. The Lido news isn't great either. Just be wary. The space is a caution, a very dangerous space currently, so take a lot of caution with your moves. And more than ever, um, especially now, do not invest more than you can lose. Don't go chasing um, Luna or UST. I know we mentioned a few people have been made money, and that's great. I'm not saying not to take opportunities, but especially now, do not invest more than you're able to afford to lose. Trying to get it all back in one fell swoop. So I think that basically covers everything on UST and Luna. I hope you guys agree. We can move on here.
Oh
absolutely.
yeah. Yep.
Perfect, perfect. So let's get into some interesting stuff in the DeFi Kingdom space here. Some very hype-worthy stuff coming, I believe, in the next week. We have DFK Duel. It's here. Um, don't have much more than the logo, the branding here. We have the previous animations, where the archer was, I believe, facing the thief or the ninja in the 1v1 battle. That could be PvP, that could be parts of DFK Duel. We don't know for sure yet, but we also have the old screenshot of the two cards basically on mobile facing off each other as well. So we'll have more information once this comes out, but we're looking forward to, I believe, having DFK Duel potentially dropping this week. They're typically dropping
June. They said
June.
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 Okay.
was the
My
announcement.
my apologies. My apologies. I'm
You're good.
overhyped for it. So we do have a little bit longer to wait. Never mind. June.
Hopefully eggs this week. I
Eggs.
don't know.
Eggs this week. That's
Yeah.
that's my apology. Jump at the gun here, but I'm hyped about DFK Duel, as you could tell. What's your guys' opinions?
I can't wait, and I'm actually a little bit excited that DFK third party arena dropped, because I think it kind of gave the team like a little bit of insight on how this could work and feedback from us. So it's almost like they got feedback on a 1v1 dueling system without releasing anything themselves, and kind of they could just take advantage of all the complaints that community members have about DFK Arena and apply those to DFK Duel, and hopefully that helps strengthen the launch here.
I agree. Um, I'm not one that wants the devs to rush anything. Obviously, I think they need to get things done at a reasonable timeline, or people are going to just become totally bearish on the project. But what I've seen is the devs put out new content weekly, and I have no reason to believe that they're not working hard on DFK Duel to get this out. And I think that DFK Duel will type us over, until PvP comes out. I don't think it's going to be like any. I don't. I think PvP, PvE. They're trying to make that something super super special. And DFK Duel, it kind of sounds like it's going to be, a mini game of some sort that you can play between questing, or maybe you can play it instead of questing or something to that nature. And I look forward to it. I want to do something different with my heroes, and anything you can add to the utility of the heroes. As we saw with DFK Arena, which, you know, we had our criticisms, but it was cool that you could take these NFTs and just do something else with them, and it just makes them that much more valuable. So, uh, you got any additional thoughts, Meg, on DFK Duel, or?
Yeah, overall, I mean,
Yeah.
again, I'm super hyped. Just another avenue to utilize your hero. I mean, again, DFK Arena is also a good work, but this coming
Oh,
directly from the team is gonna be amazing, and I'm super excited. Now, another bit of battle type of information we have here is the Gambit system. DFK has been releasing these 1 minute little sneak peeks of what they got going on and things to look forward to. So we have this that came up in that most recent minute breakdown, and this is what seems to be for PvP. Hero PvP abilities, their skills, and their gambits as well. Most likely be able to click into skills and have your skill trees that they've mentioned briefly, or potentially your advanced skill and your passive skills there. And then in the Gambit system, we spoke briefly previously in another AMA about the Final Fantasy system that potentially might have some similarities here. So super cool stuff here, and a pretty cool UI. I don't know if this is official or final, but overall, just good to see you have your three heroes here. I'm sure you can swap in and out and set who's first and second and third in the party, and even name them. So pretty cool stuff. What do you think could come out of this, and what's your guys' thoughts on the Gambit system here?
Well, I got a couple things. I think that one, I think we can see the in-game items kind of get a pump here when the dueling system drops. Because I imagine when you duel, it's going to cost stamina, which is going to take heroes away from questing, which is going to make the items they quest for more valuable. But looking at this UI system, it looks fun, and it looks so much more complex than DFK Arena just by looking at this screenshot here. So I mean, this is hype for me. This is like a game that's obviously going to involve a lot of meta, and that's what I see here when you have these boards and these setups and these options, and with different hero genes, all of those things. So I think this pumps me up and it makes me believe why I'm so big in this game is because of the strategy side of it, and I think that's what's gonna make it fun and addicting. So pleased with this. There's still a lot of things I don't understand about the board, but that just makes me more bullish because I've been in here in DFK for a while, and if I'm not fully understanding what all these buttons and switches are doing, then I have a lot to learn and make a big investment in this as far as time goes to figure out which heroes I can put to win. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, and that's another thing is when you give your, when you create more activities, you have the potential to create more utility for the items. And there's going to be when PvP comes out, maybe even DFK Duel, when that comes out, there may be a rush to get health potions, and all the items that are used to craft health potions, just like we saw with the Stone Carver, and how runes just jumped up. They like doubled in price overnight, with the Stone Carver, and gold went up in price, with the Stone Carver. So I love what the team's doing here, making like, yeah, Jewel may be seeing a very heavy dip, but the items in the game are seeing the opposite trend because they keep on building, which is just awesome. And this just makes me so much more excited as well, because we're seeing everybody is so hungry for PvP, and them actually teasing us with like the UI design, showing how what it will potentially look like. It's just gonna make us that much more ravenous, but it gives us assurance that they're definitely like working on this with intensity, and they're not putting on the back burner for anything. It's being their progress is being made, and I that's what I love about this team, is that they're always creating stuff, putting out new content every week, showing the community that they're here to build this masterpiece. And it so far, through rain or shine, uh, they they have came through on that promise, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Could definitely applaud the tenacity and hard work of this team, their commitment to the project overall. DFK
Oh,
Duel, the
real
Gambits.
quick,
Yeah.
Mega, they released I don't have the image on me, but they had an image of like a new zone that was going to be put in
Ooh.
Serendale,
I don't
and
think I have that either. If we
yeah,
can
it
get it
was like a
before we upload, we'll definitely throw that up
yeah,
here
it,
for
it was
the
like a it
viewers.
was like a cave with like two statues on each side. I think Squanch showed me it on Twitter. But anyway, it it appears that may be where the DFK dueling takes place, or PvP, but I would guess dueling, since that's going to come out sooner. Um, but yes, there was an image that was floated out, um, of what looked like a cave being in Serendale, with two statues on each side, and it was just a new zone in the map. And my guess would be that would be for DFK Duel.
Yeah, sounds like it. If we get that
Mm.
screenshot, we'll definitely have it here for you guys at home. Interesting stuff. I know even in relation to that, we had the live art session from the team where they were building the Coliseum. Hopefully that's, well, I'd assume that's for the PvP aspect maybe. Um, but
That may have been
regardless.
what I saw. I don't know
Okay,
if it
that
was
might
like,
be it. I don't
yeah.
know. That was a little older, but
No, I don't know. It was something recent. Squanch showed it to me on his phone. I just can't
Yeah,
even.
I think it's on their Twitter. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, like I said, I get flooded with so much DFK information. It's hard to remember where I see everything. But yeah, it just another thing to tease. Like, it looked really nice. The design,
yeah, it
like the art
always
team
does
definitely did
from
it.
their team.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah.
so we'll definitely
So
get that going on the screen here if we can find it for you guys at home. Overall, I think we're all super hyped for DFK Duel, as is a lot of the community. So moving on here, something that actually is set to hopefully launch this week, the Hatchery And pets, I don't know if pets will be available right away. It did look like there was a timer, as you can see here in the hatchery, for how long they take to fully hatch. But within that 1 minute video, I believe they mentioned that there's over 255 variations of pets and such. So a lot of hard work from the team, again, from the art department, the stats, and however their attributes are given on these pets. So just a lot of hard work and dedication coming to fruition finally. You see in this screenshot here, we have the Solidity contract. The pet contracts are all set and ready to go, and ready to be uploaded to beta come the time that that's ready to go. Are you guys hyped for the hatchery or what?
Oh my god, I'm so hyped. I've had my eggs forever. I have 22 of them. These pets look cool. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can't
It's
wait.
about
I
that
hope
time,
I hope it
boys.
launches this Wednesday. I hope it launches Wednesday.
So my question is do they just have 255 pets so far for the blue and gray eggs, or is it
Good question.
255 so far? Yeah,
I'd
because
have
I
to
mean
go
we all know.
back and watch that video for his exact wording of like the variations. I don't know if it was just between
Yeah,
different kinds of pets or just backgrounds, pets, and all, or just those eggs, like you said. But I don't know.
yeah, because we do know they're releasing the gray and blue eggs to hatch first, and they did say in like a previous AMA or interview it was because they are still working on the green and yellow pets. They had finished the gray and blue pets, but are still, coming together with the gold, yellow, and green egg pets. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if or to find out if that 255 is just for the gray and blue batch. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, definitely. If depending on how hatching and everything goes, if possible, we'll try to each save an egg or two to open up on the AMA next time and see what we all can get. That'd be pretty interesting, I think. Let us
Yeah.
know, of course.
I got more than a couple
Yeah,
eggs
you did.
streamed.
Scotch has a
Yeah.
bunch. I
We
believe
we could
we
do
all
a
got a fair bit.
podcast.
So yeah,
We could
Hey,
do
we should make it a party. All right, we'll
yeah,
live
yeah.
stream it. I'll crack open a beer every third egg I hatch or something decent like that.
it will be like a 2-hour live stream of him just opening his eggs.
Yeah, I got 22 right now, so
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
That
gonna
would
be
be great
fun.
though.
Yeah, let us know if you'd like to see that. We'd definitely love to do something like that as well. But definitely look
we
out
could
for
just
that. Go on, Squanch.
definitely streaming that in the Discord. Don't know if we'll upload it to YouTube, but I'll definitely live stream that in the
Could
Discord.
be a Discord exclusive from Squanch. Heard it here first. Yeah,
Yeah.
but overall, look forward to the hatchery here this week, guys. We're all super stoked. Moving on to the next topic here. The jewel, overall, the token jewel here, the price of jewel, we're at 76 cents. Been hovering again in that range of about 70 to 80 cents here currently. A lot of negativity that has driven this price down recently between the stuff we went over with DFK overall, and then the Luna action following shortly after. Now, overall, with where Jewel is at the current price, what are you guys doing with Jewel being this low? How are you guys approaching the ecosystem and DFK overall?
Yeah. Do you want to go first, Agentic, on this?
It it
You know
doesn't
what?
matter to
I'll
me.
go first because I
All right.
think you're a little bit you have a more optimistic view, so I don't want to end
Mhm.
on a pessimistic view. All right.
All right.
But let that open up for what I'm about to say. I'm not in the gardens right now. I'm mostly in cash. I have been for a while now, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting here. And it's not so much like, oh, I'm bearish Jewel or anything like that. It's just the macro conditions, you know? Um, and they're just terrible. And look, we all want to be like, oh, well, Jewel's a game. It could be a hedge, or really shouldn't correlate with the market. But let me tell you guys something. It's correlated to the downside. All right. It's probably going to correlate back up to the upside too. And we need to see just more bullish price action across all of the market, particularly the majors. And when I say the majors, I mean Bitcoin and Ethereum. I need to see some recovery there before I have the confidence to step back into altcoins. And I think that's where a lot of people are at. But hey, I still have plenty of exposure to Joel. I'm still every mine lock Joel I have that I mine, I keep. Or maybe I spend it back into the game buying potions or heroes or whatever. But as far as price goes, I'm the same outlook on Joel that I have with the rest of the market. I'm bearish short to midterm, and by short to midterm, I mean anywhere from 3 to 9 months before I expect a turnaround. But hey, the team could prove me wrong, and look at all the stuff they're dropping. It seems like since Luna and all this drama has happened, our team's like picked up the pace, huh? With pets and now dueling coming out in June. And I know they've been working on this, but I don't know. I feel a little bit more sense of urgency, and I do feel like they're releasing more like the dev videos on YouTube now and stuff like that. So I think they got a little pep in their step now, and I think the market will humble us, and I think we're all humbled right now, and I think the DFK team is being humbled by saying, "Hey, we're gonna build, build, build," and that's what the Frisky. That's the culture he has built at DFK, and um, I will say, doesn't matter if the market's bearish, they're still pumping out screenshots, teasing us, and dropping stuff. So, but again, I think we need overall better market conditions before we can be happier, or before we can expect Jewel to go back up quickly.
Yeah. So when I first got into Joel, it was a top 60 or 50 coin. I know it had been in the top 50. When I got in, it may have been just outside the top 50 in market cap. So right now it sits at 370. So we've had quite a fall. Now, at the beginning, a lot of people were in the game just to have those high APRs. They were just, farm hoppers is all they were, bringing in their, hundreds of thousands and millions and just earning high APR and then leaving. So that's to be expected, to drop in price. So my take is on this: I never invested in the game what I could not afford. So if Joel ran to zero, I'd be okay. I have invested a good amount of money, and it would be disappointing, but I would not be in any dire emergency. So, and I've just been DCAing in, every paycheck, and then I turned some of my other crypto investments into Jewel and put them in the gardens, and I've been recompounding a lot of my garden earnings. So I'm not in. I mean, I'm in bad shape as with everybody in DFK, but I have a little bit different outlook than some people that may have put way more into the game than they could afford. But what I'm doing right now is I bought more today. It's just my biweekly deposit. Put it in there, and I shoved it into the gardens and did a summon. I'm also gonna look to just do my summons that I wanted to do that never could when I was priced out when Joel was $10 a coin. Now the opportunity to for anybody to summon is there, and as we talked about in our summon special, which will be released uh, later this week, is that summoning has spiked, and it's because the average person can actually afford to do them, and it's fun. So I what I believe in this project. I believe in the devs. As long as the devs are building, the devs are staying, I have no issue putting money in. Now, this is not financial advice, of course. This is just my perspective. This is just what I'm doing. I'm not telling anybody to do this, but I've been in the crypto space for a good amount of time. Not as long as Squanch, but I've been in this crypto space a good amount of time. And when things catastrophically fall like this, you see devs leave. You see, coins just sit and die in the void, right? They just nothing ever happens to them, and no development ever occurs, and it's just a zombie coin. That is so far from what is happening with DFK right now. No devs have left. They're only building more. They they're part of a major chain, and they're also on another chain, Harmony. They're cross chain, so they're going to get support from both ecosystems. And it's a game which, like Squanch said, it it's designed in the future to be a hedge against the market, because gamers will want to play the game even if the market's down. And obviously, we don't have a fully developed game yet, so it's going to be a while before we actually get to that, because Jewel is definitely following the market. Nobody would argue that. But what's happening in the crypto space right now is we're seeing a prune. There's going to be a lot of projects, uh, a ton of projects that don't survive this market collapse. Just like in 2018, when the collapse happened there, a ton of those projects that were doing IPOs and just pumping their coins and rugging everything, like and those coins just didn't survive. And that's what's going to happen here. We're going to see a lot of coins that don't come out of this, the projects that just go into the ether and die. And if DFK makes it out of this, and they're still building, and their product is so much more closer to being progressed out of this bear cycle, which that we're in, I mean, I only think it sets it up for a really, really great run come the next bull run. And I am going to be accumulating, because I do not want to be left in the dust when I think Jewel will take off. Again, not financial advice, but just because I believe in the devs, the project, the whole gamified aspect, and and dexes are always needed, and it's on 2 chains as a dex.
So I think it's safe to say you're going to continue to average in, stay in
Yep,
the gardens, and
yep,
ride it up on the next bull, baby.
yep. I didn't pull anything out. I kept everything in the gardens. I've added
It
to my
might be.
gardens today.
We'll
So,
talk about, well,
yep,
not that this is a financial advice channel, but it might be a good idea for you to shake off, and then buy back in just from a tax standpoint. But we'll talk about that later.
yeah, that's true. You could take it. You could write off,
Hmm.
some
You
losses.
could
Yeah,
write off some fat losses right now. But
yeah,
anyway,
that's true. That's it. If you want to go that route and get a little more complicated, that's an option. But for myself, I don't want to get things too complicated. I just want to recompound my earnings and hopefully ride this thing back up to $5.
yeah. What about you, Mega? How you feel about price, short term, mid term, long term?
Yeah, so short term, it's hard to say like we were talking about. I think there's a lot of unpredictability. Long term, if we're buying, for those of us bullish on the project, when we were buying at $5, $10 plus, and just believing in the team, like Agentic said, nothing has changed as far as the team goes. They've been head down, working hard, and the goal is still the same: build, build, build. And they've been delivering, delivering, delivering. So if I'm buying at $5, $10, I think medium to long term here is just a very great opportunity for an accumulation period, like Agentic said as well. I'm going to be adding as much as I can, when I can. Not financial advice, of course. Like Agentic said as well, we do have our summoning special video here coming next week. So I summoned and degened into another summon here. Only my second, but that's partially because of where the price was. I found value, whether it was throwing it into the gardens or the bank, or slowly investing for new heroes that I actually wanted, rather than kind of gambling it off into a summon. Of course, a summon can very much pay off, but I just felt like the risk versus reward was, when the price was higher, it was much safer for me to just invest and save for the heroes I wanted, or just put it into the gardens and have a little safer income source coming. But I think this is a great accumulation period. Like we said, the team is doing exactly what they've been doing, and that's just build and deliver to the community. Got a lot of interesting stuff here coming up, a lot of stuff that we covered already in this episode. Um, but yeah, overall, I'm still bullish. Sounds like we're all still bullish, and I'm hyped to see where the project can go. But moving on to the last topic here, we have some garden emission changes. I know we have an announcement here from Frisky. This was, I believe, 2 days ago here on Thursday. Middle of the day, he says, "Hey everyone, just a quick update about the gardens. We've been monitoring the gardens according to our rebalancing policy, and some of the pools are eligible for being rebalanced. And these are the pools they adjusted. So, Jewel Luna, Jewel UST, Jewel BUSD, and Jewel BSC, BNB. These are all down. I believe what he means by down is the emissions are lesser per block. Correct me if I'm wrong here, guys.
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
And then you see Jewel AVAX is the most lucrative pool, and I know that's great because Agentic here, that's your favorite pool, right?
I like Jewel AVAX and I like Jewel 1. I like both those pools. And I can tell you a bit roughly about how much they increased the emissions on both those because I have been following them closely
Perfect.
before this, and obviously I as soon as this was out, I was waiting eagerly to figure. I was really glad to see that Jewel AVAX would go up because I wanted to add more to my Jewel AVAX pool, but it was hard for me to justify because it was at such a it just didn't have the emission rate to me that was worth putting over Jewel 1 at that time. But things have changed, so I can go over that if you want.
Yeah, definitely. If you have the numbers, for sure.
Okay, yeah. So, pre-change, Jewel AVAX had a .7 to .75 emission rate per block, and it was the second highest in the gardens. Jewel 1 was by far the highest emission rate at 4 joule per or 4 joule per block. Now with what they did is they reduced the Luna, the UST pools, and they reduced some of the other pools. I believe I can't remember which ones, smaller ones, and so that gave them room to increase the emissions in other pools. Well, they only increased the emissions on 2 pools. They increased the Joule 1 pool and they increased the Joule AVAX pool. They increased the Joule AVAX pool by about 0.5 joule per emission. So now we're sitting at between 1.15. I've seen it up as high as 1.25. Just depending on how much is in there and how much AVAX is up or down or whatever. So I have seen it at 1.25 before, and Joule 1 they increased it by it looks about 33%. So or not 33%, but by 0.33 joule. So Joule 1 was usually floated between like 3.9 and like 4.1, and now it's well at above 4. I've seen it as low as 4.25. This is the highest I've seen it at 4.344. So today, when I dollar cost averaged in and I added to my pool, usually I put most of that in Jewel 1. I actually put 2/3 of my buy-in into the Jewel AVAX pool, and then put the remaining third into the Jewel 1 and then a summon. So yeah, and I this makes me really bullish on AVAX. I think Squanch has really is really bullish on AVAX because of basically it may be able to kind of take the reign of like ETH 2.0 if ETH 2.0 never happens. And it's just a really good chain, and we've got a game on it that we believe in. And I plan on going heavier into the AVAX pool now. So
Nice. Yeah, I'm very and I love the restructuring here that they did of the pools. It was necessary and glad they did it. And yeah, and
they
I think it's overall it's positive.
they
Positive
al-
for
they
Joel, positive for AVAX, positive for all parties involved. So super stoked about it.
They also raised the APR rates. So Jewel AVAX now that is what they massively increased for Jewel AVAX. So Jewel AVAX before the increase on APR, it was sitting at like about 2.25, and now we're at 311. So they actually increased that quite a bit. The APR for the Jewel 1 increased slightly. It was not near as dramatic. It was floating about like it was in the same range roughly as like 2.5, 2.6, and then we were seeing at 2.67. I don't know if they altered the APR there at all, but yeah, the Jewel AVAX definitely had APR got a huge boost. So
Yeah, some good changes, some good revisions here from the team, always checking in and making sure everything's balanced. Another great thing that the team does here. But that just about wraps it up. Did either of you guys have any more comments here on the gardens or anything else in the space?
Don't sell your inventory. I think it's going to become more and more valuable. I mean, you could sell it. It's not financial advice, but I think now more than ever, I think we're going to start seeing the inventory gain more value. And like we mentioned earlier, when dueling comes out, it's going to take a lot of these people away from questing. So items will become more scarce as people want to duel versus quest. But that's all I got.
I want to remind everybody that we are going to well, I guess because we haven't released the summon video yet, but we're gonna have an egg giveaway uh, from our Discord member and very valued member Dags, who is heavily involved in our Discord. Is he going to be giving away a blue egg, I believe?
Yep, blue egg.
And we will get a link to create that contest. That will be in this below this video. Maybe it will definitely be below our summoning special video that we put out later. But yes, you will have to be a member of the Discord to get that prize. Even if you win and you're not a member in Discord, you won't know because that's where we're going to announce it. So if you're interested in winning in the egg, make sure you're a member of the Discord, and you can give us a follow with our social media accounts and subscribe to this channel if you like our content.
Definitely. Yeah, so on that giveaway, real quick as well, we were planning to release the summoning special later in the week, but thinking on it now out loud here, guys, if the hatchery comes out Wednesday, I'm thinking that will be the deadline for
Yeah.
the giveaway, so that way the winner can put their egg right into the hatchery. I'm gonna try to get out this special here, or excuse me, yeah, the special Monday night then. And then this podcast, of course, will be out by. You should be watching it here Sunday, most likely.
Let's go. We
Yes,
follow
sir.
Frisky's lead. Frisky, build, build, build. We make content, make content, make content.
Exactly. That's the plan, Frisky. Bullish as always. Of course, if you enjoyed today's video, guys, definitely like. It means a lot. Subscribe to the channel as well so you can catch all our content that comes out. And comment down below what pet you hope you would get if you were to win this blue egg. And again, join the Discord. Can't stress that enough. If you win the giveaway and you're not in the Discord, you're not going to know. So be sure to click that link down below in the description and become a jeweler. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed episode 9 here today of the Jewelers Podcast. It's been a pleasure. As always, we have Agentic State and Squanchy. My name's Mega. I hope you guys have a great day in the kingdom, and I'll see ya.
Peace.
Peace.